There you see Zakiya Jordan, number 2. She's scored 10 or more points as well in 5 of her last 6 games. The transfer, I should say preseason All-SEC second teamer this season. Tips up in the air, won by Ole Miss. We're going to get to see if Ole Miss can get a little revenge on their arch rival after falling to the Bulldogs earlier this season. Zakiya Stephenson with her 3rd start as an Ole Miss Rebel. Kicks to Todd-Williams, who knocks it down for Ole Miss. Kennedy Todd-Williams' 9th 3-pointer today. And we've highlighted Zakiya Jordan. Jessica Carter was a game-time decision coming into today. She sprained her ankle against Florida. Still dropped a double-double in that game, but she's back in the lineup today, Lindsay.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's a big win for State, not knowing if you're going to be able to play with all of your starters or not in one of the biggest games of the season.
Traveling on Aaron Barnum, along with Madison Scott. We mentioned Zakiya Stephenson. This is her 3rd start. Kennedy Todd-Williams to the basket. Gets back her miss. She'll have her 3rd try and draws the foul. 3rd in the SEC in offensive rebounds per game at over 15. That's also 15th in all of the country. As Todd-Williams, 73% free throw shooter, bags the first in Ole Miss to start the game up 4-0 on Mississippi State. You'll see a lot of free throws today, too, from Ole Miss. Nearly 23 free throw attempts per game. That's 11th in the country.
Yeah, they're great at getting themselves to the line. That just shows how aggressive they are.
Lauren Park Lane from Wilmington, Delaware, running the point for Mississippi State. One of the best, if not the best, distributor in the country, depending on which expert you're talking to out there.
Definitely has an eye for the court.
Barnum underneath, and the first 2 points for State.
I think we're going to see Mississippi State getting a lot of points in the paint, whether it be on transition or getting it to their post players.
Up top to Scott. It's Marquesha Davis. That's her patented shot, isn't it?
She makes it look so easy, and it's not. She's got that stop on a dime where she uses the momentum to keep the defender going, but it leaves her wide open for the jumper. It's beautiful.
And Jordan with a little fadeaway of her own inside.
Yeah, there was a reason that we highlighted her in the open. Her team is always looking for her.
Scott quick down the lane, and more free throws coming up. We'll let McPhee-McEwen, year number 6. She's 4 wins away from 100 at Ole Miss. Back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances as well, and of course the Sweet 16 appearance from a season ago. Madison Scott, 72% free throw shooter this season. I mean, we talked a little bit about what she did at Florida.
If Madison Scott wouldn't have had that game, then they probably wouldn't have came home with the W.
Line violation, and Scott has one more free throw. After the lane violation.
Keep your composure like that and see the floor as well as she does. She's in a level of her own.
Davis on the steal.
Speaking of level of their own, Marquesha Davis.
Jordan misses, collects it. And wanted Jessica Carter, a loose ball, and here comes Ole Miss's Scott in transition. Marquesha Davis struggled in the previous 2 games going into that contest. Lindsay, she was 5 for 21 shooting from the floor in both those games, and she apologized to her team, saying, you know what, I'm human.
And if you want someone to peak in the season, you want it to come towards the tail end. You know, it's okay to have a rut. Everybody hits a rut. I'm sure that she's got a lot of reps in the gym, got over it.
Madison Scott has 4 points, and all 4 coming from the free throw line this afternoon. Park Lane off balance. Oh, that was pretty.
She's just one of the best in the business when it comes to seeing a lane, whether it be a pass or a drive. She gets herself there.
Nice feed from Stevenson to Rita Ibakwe. Second assist on the afternoon for Stevenson. Jordan to Carter. Couldn't get the bounce. What's it like playing, coming back from a high ankle sprain like Carter is? I don't know if you've had that situation before, but what do you think that's like?
It's a tough injury to bounce back from, and I can tell she's slowing down. Like, she's a little slow. She's not herself for sure.
Marquesha Davis knocks down her 9th at 3 in the afternoon, and Sam Purcell calls timeout. 18-6. Hotty toddy. The Rebels are on fire to start. led Mississippi State to an NCAA tournament last season, and also Mississippi State's the first team ever to go from the first four to the round of 32. They did that last season, and also 42 wins for Sam Purcell. Just in 2 years, he leads all head coaches in program history in their first 2 years in wins. Guess you could say he's off to a good start, right?
Off to a fantastic start.
10 left to shoot for the Bulldogs, and they turn it over. 4 turnovers for Mississippi State to begin this ball game. Davis flew to the basket but came up short. And now State wants to run. The three. The bounce. No for Jordan.
I thought she was going to get the friendly roll.
Here's Aiyana Thompson. Thompson 2 for 6 from the perimeter now this season. Carter, her first 2 points today. Even though she suffered that high ankle sprain at Florida, she's still posting a double-double. Shepard on the floor for the basketball. And a heads-up play for Zakiya Jordan.
Take another look. Scrappiness. Just a good season. Court awareness play.
Park Lane. Back outside to Shepard. The rebound falls to Davis. Quickly up to Scott. Ole Miss has made a living in transition this afternoon.
That's their bread and butter, Jake.
Rogers to the basket. Finally, some points. She was all Big East second team last year. The number 19 transfer too, according to ESPN. 3 off the mark for Davis. And Jessica Carter comes away with the rebound.
I feel like that's one area that Coach Purcell has done really well, is creating a culture where players want to be a part of, and with plays like that and shots like that.
Ole Miss is led by as much as 12 this quarter, and a foul called.
Have to take another look at this. Oh man, she was back there too. I didn't realize how far behind the three-point line she was.
That's a pro 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
She barely got away with the basketball. Thompson off the mark. Offensive board for Todd-Williams. Davis wants another. And a whistle on Ole Miss. Tyus Singleton. Under a minute to go in the first quarter. Park Lane. Kicks out to Jordan. Bullseye. Todd-Williams set the trigger. To Scott. The fall away. Spins out. Ibakwe tries. Todd-Williams draws the foul. Mississippi State doesn't foul a lot. I mean, only 13 times per game. That's 5th in the country. And the numbers for Kennedy Todd-Williams this season, or I should say in conference play.
Yeah, I feel like it did. It took her quite a few games. Filled in some at the point guard, but such an impact player.
I was talking about fouls earlier. Mississippi State already has 5. And 2 for Zakiya Jordan, who averages nearly 17 points per game. Park Lane, swish. 22-18, first quarter. Stephenson. 22-18, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. This is exactly what we thought. Of course, Jessica Carter coming off the high ankle sprain. She was day-to-day, game-time decision coming into today. She suffered the high ankle sprain in the first quarter against Florida, but she came back and wound up posting a double-double.
Isn't that incredible? While injured.
Hook shot off the mark for number 24, Montague. From Atlantic City, Georgia. 6'6" freshman center. Zakiya Stephenson. To Todd-Williams. Stephenson wide open. Yes. In which Mississippi State is 5-1 in these last 6 games. That was shifty.
Look at that.
Scott turns. Rebound by Barnum, and Rogers on the run. Step back by Rogers. And the rebound for Montague. Barnum off the window.
And you can hear the life in them as well. You got the defense chant going on.
Stephenson, head fake. Now inside, swish. All right, the freshman. And her third start as an Ole Miss Rebel is 5 points. In and out for Rogers. This is a fast-paced game.
It is. A lot of back and forth here in the second quarter.
No for Todd-Williams, gets it back. That's what Coach Yo told her team this morning at shoot-around, too. She said, if we're there in transition, don't set up a play. Just go to the basket and score. Ibakwe, an old-fashioned baby hook off the window.
That's if you watch Ole Miss play, they don't run a lot of set plays.
And Stephenson takes it away from Park Lane. Loose basketball. Bodies are everywhere. And Nyanga Goni recovered the basketball, but she throws it away.
What in the world with that possession?
Up the floor to Scott. Everyone's everywhere.
That was a lot.
Rogers head fake. The long two. She's feeling it. 7 points. She's 3 for 5 shooting today in 9 minutes.
Yeah, she is, and she's such a crafty player, too. You have to be careful to keep your feet on the floor. Don't go for that shot fake.
Stephenson outside. Rebound for Brown Hager and a foul on Todd-Williams. Also recorded her 4th double-double of the season and 25th of her career. Jessica Carter back in the game. Wasn't a pretty finish, but hey, found the bottom of the net.
I saw her out there cheesing too. Like she was just happy to win in.
She
Can't
knew.
blame her.
Ole Miss's biggest lead was 12 back in the first quarter. As Davis misses the long ball. Ole Miss now 3 for 9 from outside the arc. Better than their per-game average of 25%. Mississippi State, despite being down, they're hitting 52% of their shots. Seven left to shoot. They go to the red-hot Rogers. Forces it up. Boy, if that one fell, I would have just taken off the headset, Lindsay.
It looked like it was money, too, from this angle.
Davis quick down the floor, off balance, no good, and up the floor come the Dogs. Jordan fouled and one.
Of course, I'm a former Ole Miss Rebel, but I still have a lot of respect for the Mississippi State program and what they have done with women's basketball. I mean, you want both teams to be good because it brings awareness to Mississippi basketball. So, but it's a huge game for both teams.
Jordan off the mark on the free throw. And I love what Sam Purcell said earlier, too. He said, when this game is good, as Todd-Williams bangs down the three, it's good for the state because you get young girls that say, I want to be like Kennedy Todd-Williams. I want to be like Jessica Carter. And that can really propel some youth programs here in the state.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
4 threes on the day for Ole Miss. Already above their per-game average of 3 makes per game. Rogers misses the floater, and Carter's on the floor, so they call a foul on Ole Miss.
That says something about this Ole Miss defense.
The motto, dictate and disrupt. 3 off for Jerkayla Jordan. She's now 1 for 4 from the perimeter today. Davis falls. She was pushed down. I beg your pardon, that's her first personal foul. Don't know how I had that written down wrong. 1:11 to go until half. Thompson pulls up. Board by Ibakwe. Stick back is in. 50 seconds left until halftime. Jump to Carter, who's had a quiet first half. Gets another one to go. You'd assume Ole Miss is going to eat a lot of clock here. Or maybe not. Marquesha Davis, shut me up.
That shows what we know. That's the reason we're over here.
That's why we're over here. Lead back up to 8 for Ole Miss. 2 seconds left in the half. Park Lane heaves. Puts it in.
What a shot.
It does count, they say. Second half. This game was close in Starkville earlier this season, back on January the 14th, but Ole Miss was outscored 20-6 in the fourth quarter. And like Lindsay said, the Rebels so far have shown that they have a chip on their shoulder, but how will Mississippi State respond? And they force a turnover to begin the second half.
Yeah, off to a good start for Mississippi State.
Jessica Carter with 6 first half points. Down low for Barnum. And Carter's shot's deflected by Ibakwe. Here comes Ole Miss. And Carter gets it right back. Intercepted the pass from Zakiya Stephenson, who's back out on the floor for Ole Miss. 3 balls in for Mississippi State. And the basketball goes in favor of Mississippi State. They are going to review this, Lindsay, to see if her foot was on the line.
Ooh, that was close.
Yeah, it was close. But they'll take a look at this at the next dead ball. Score stands right now, Mississippi State down 4. And Zakiya Stephenson fouls Park Lane. But Zakiya Stephenson against Mississippi State, she's had a pretty good ball game.
She has loaded some good minutes for sure. I think Coach O's fear is just with her age. She's a little bit younger than the rest of just a freshman. Makes some rookie mistakes, but logged some big minutes today.
Lauren Park Lane has logged some big minutes too. 2 for 2. Davis pulls up. Rebound by Poe. Free throws on the way for Barnum. Aaron Barnum, 69% free throw shooter this season. That's what she did in the last game at Florida. The most points they'd allowed since 2021 against Oklahoma. That is in regulation, not in any overtime wins or losses. 1-point game after the free throws. Ole Miss on top. Mississippi State has not held the lead at all this afternoon. And Madison Scott gives Ole Miss some more cushion.
That's not the place on the court where you want to leave Madison Scott.
Jessica Carter rises. And rebound falls to Scott. Ole Miss in transition. Todd-Williams. Davis, second opportunity, she's fouled. SEC play, nearly 17 points per game. That's 8th in the SEC. And also hitting 47% of her shots from the floor.
Only takes high percentage shots.
And Jessica Carter, too, for Mississippi State, averages 15 points per game. She's been limited to 6. 5 left to shoot. Off balance for Park Lane. Falls to Carter. And now she has 8. Runs the point for Ole Miss. 10 left to shoot. They get it to Ibakwe. Both teams have made just 2 field goals in this second half. And Jessica Carter, her shot altered out of bounds, and it stays with State. Carter today, 8 points, 4 of 8 shooting with 5 rebounds. Jordan gets her miss back, and an easy second chance point. Lead still at 3 for Ole Miss. Scott fronts it. Rebound by Ibakwe, and a jump ball called. And the possession arrow goes Mississippi State's way. Not as many points here in this third quarter as we have in the 2 previous quarters. Mississippi State outscoring Ole Miss 9-6.
Not as many points, and also it's a little more slow of a tempo than we saw in the first half.
Rogers, we're tied.
Hear life come from the Mississippi State crowd behind us with the defense chant.
Eden. Big 3. Ole Miss back ahead
Whew, that one couldn't have come at a better time for Ole Miss.
Both fan bases into it. Rogers on the response. No way! Oh, she shushes him too.
Rogers is hot.
Madison Scott elevates. Rebound for Park Lane. Stripped it from Todd-Williams. Mississippi State can take their first lead. And there it is. Aaron Barnum.
What a play. Mississippi State has leveled up.
State's outscoring Ole Miss 17-9 in this third quarter. Davis off balance. Oh, my. Park Lane off the window. Carter gets it back. She can't finish. Whistle comes in. These are her first free throws today. 1 point lead for Mississippi State. Outscoring Ole Miss by 7 in this third quarter. Davis misses. And Jordan strips the rebound away from Ibakwe. .33 seconds left in the third quarter. Nine left to shoot. Carter drains it. Todd-Williams into the front court with 13 seconds left in the third quarter. Sam Purcell shouts out 2-2 from the Mississippi State side of the bench. 3 seconds left in the third quarter. Stephenson. And we go to the final 10 minutes. 52-49. Just being told, too, Rogers has led the team in three-pointers in SEC play as well. 21 threes.
That's incredible. And she's shooting 50% from the field right now. And we mentioned this earlier, too. Mississippi State, their record on the road is incredible. Better than their record at home.
Something to look at, too. If Mississippi State has the lead with under 5 minutes to go in the game, the Bulldogs are undefeated under Sam Purcell with the lead and under 5 minutes to go for the game. Scott inside, and she draws the foul. 2 personal fouls on Rogers now today. Scott right at her per game average, which is second highest for Ole Miss this season. And Ole Miss still down 2, but Ibakwe comes down with the miss. And Ole Miss sets up their offense. 10 left to shoot for the possession. 5 left to shoot for Davis. Carter comes down with the rebound. .52-50. Miracle Shepard. Swing it all the way around to Park Lane. Jerkayla Jordan has space and adds 2. Lindsay, you're talking about road wins for Mississippi State. The Bulldogs are 7-2 on the road this season. 8 left for the possession. Jordan unable to connect. And Ole Miss basketball. Or they changed the call to Mississippi State basketball. And the always energized and animated Sam Purcell on your screen. This man's a walking quote, too, Lindsay, I swear. Kennedy Todd-Williams in on the steal. 3-on-1 for Ole Miss. Davis, she's fouled, and it was almost down. 13 points today from Marquesha Davis. Coming off her 5th game where she scored 20 points or more. In fact, all those games have been in SEC play. And that's tough, too, dropping 20. Rogers, who's had the hot hand, 3 for 5 from downtown today. Barnum downhill. She's fouled, puts it in.
That was huge.
Lone free throw for Barnum. Todd-Williams all alone. Ole Miss now 5 for 16 from outside the arc. We don't see this team shoot 16 threes, do we?
You don't, but Mississippi State's doing a great job of sagging on defense and forcing the outside shot. That's what they want Ole Miss to take.
Barnum inside. She was hacked by Ibakwe. Chat with them for a little bit as, in fact, none of the Mississippi State players will line up at the hashes. They'll all drop back on defense instead. Biggest lead of the day for Mississippi State. Ole Miss led by as much as 12 in the first half. And Madison Scott also over 5 rebounds a game. And what's not listed on that graphic, Lindsay, 4 assists per game, too, for Madison Scott in conference play.
But you have to keep in mind, too, filling in for that point guard position, which makes it much harder to score points and get rebounds.
And are both 8 seeds right now in Charlie Cream's bracketology. Carter off 1 foot. I guess that ankle's okay, huh?
Oh, man, that is a tough.
Scott seems a little frustrated with herself that she wasn't able to get that. So we'll keep an eye on that as Scott misses the first free throw. Now remember, and there she is on the bike, Mississippi State is 38-0 overall and 17-0 this season when leading with under 5 minutes remaining in regulation under Coach Purcell. This is their biggest lead today. 61-53, and Ole Miss cuts into Mississippi State just did a good job of clawing back. I mean, not panicking in the moment. This Ole Miss crowd was red hot from the start, and Ole Miss fed off of it. Todd-Williams in on the steal to Scott. And 1! Fouls on Rogers. That's 4 now on Rogers.
Mississippi State is going to have to play a little bit timid on the defense again.
Rebound Ibakwe. Todd-Williams. And everybody down to the deck. Jump ball called for the rebound. Always fun when these two arch rivals get together. Park Lane bounces in and out. Stephenson uses the screen. 3 minutes left. And Davis loses it. Here comes Zakiya Jordan. Against Todd-Williams. Sads 2.
Man, she's clutch. She is clutch.
She did that with 4 fouls. Clean steal.
Clean steal.
Scott connects. Mississippi State only has 6 points off 15 Ole Miss turnovers. The floater by Park Lane. And a foul underneath. It's on Ole Miss. Oh, never mind. It's on Jessica Carter of Mississippi State. And her season free throw percentage, not great. .38% free throw shooter this season. Misses both. Rogers on the rebound. Swarmed by pink jerseys and dribbles out of it. Gets it to Poe. And Park Lane slows things down. And you see Sam Purcell going ballistic on the sideline, calling out the play for Mississippi State. 10 left to shoot. Here's Jordan with 4 left. Jordan steps back. In and out. Rebound Ibakwe. Under a minute to play in Oxford. 4-point game. Ole Miss down. Davis underneath. Puts it in. 2-point game. Timeout State. 49 seconds left. Mississippi State leads by 2. And they have the tiebreaker over Ole Miss in the SEC standings. Rogers goes to work. Barnum on the head fake with 7. Back to Rogers. 4 on the ticker. Rogers airballs it. Here comes Davis with Ole Miss down 2. 15 seconds left and ticking. And Ole Miss is going to hold for the tie or the win. 6 seconds left. Here's Scott underneath. She puts it in. 3.1 left. Timeout on the floor. Rogers to trigger. To get it to Jordan. 2 seconds left. Jordan up the front of the rim. We're going to overtime in Oxford. Back-to-back games. Tips up and State has it. No Jessica Carter for Mississippi State. She fouled out at the end of regulation. Poe for 3 off the mark. And it's Ole Miss basketball.
Yeah, the fouls are definitely playing in Ole Miss's favor.
Scott turns. Can't get the bounce. Rogers and Jordan for Mississippi State are playing with 4 fouls. Barnum with 10 left to shoot. On Singleton. Drops it in. Davis. Offensive board by Scott, and she stepped out of bounds. Ole Miss outscored Florida 13-3 in overtime in the previous game that they won against Florida. Barnum on the head fake. Another one for Barnum. Shot clock down to 10 for Ole Miss. Down 4. Scott pulls up. Right to Todd-Williams at the buzzer. Jordan left all alone. In and out. That was halfway down, Lindsay.
That would have been huge.
Scott underneath. Twists and turns. Can't finish. Singleton swarmed. Puts it in. And one. I didn't even hear the whistle, Lindsay.
I didn't either. What a play for Singleton. Sticking with it. My goodness. Make it count.
This for the lead. Both overtime games were in Starkville. Coming up on 90 seconds to go in overtime. Rogers on the handle. Front irons it. Rebounding Bakwe.
Such a great look. Just couldn't get it to fall.
Mississippi State without Jessica Carter. She fouled out. Fouled out back at the tail end of the fourth quarter. Stephenson gets the screen from Ibakwe. 7 left to shoot for Ole Miss. Todd-Williams forces it up. Oh my! Todd-Williams!
What in the world did we just witness? When she shot that, I thought, no way. Oh my goodness.
Ole Miss by 3. 46 seconds left. Park Lane. Can't get the bounce. Ibakwe is fouled. 39.1 left. She's 0 for 2 at the line today. A 38% free throw shooter. .80 run for Ole Miss over the last 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Scott, offensive rebound. And Mississippi State didn't foul. And there's the foul. What a turn of events here in overtime, right?
I mean, this is a game.
Scott today 7 for 11 at the foul line. 5-point lead for Ole Miss. And you've seen them all day. All the fans on their feet. They want to make this a party tonight. Inbounds goes to Jordan. 30 seconds left in overtime. Here's the three. Yes, she hits. 2-point game. Timeout called by Ole Miss. Who's Ole Miss going to get it to? Kennedy Todd-Williams. And that makes sense. 73% free throw shooter, Todd-Williams. Todd-Williams, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. This free throw to make it a two-possession game. Nails both. Mississippi State's out of timeouts. They're down 4. They want to get it to Jordan. 17 seconds left. Park Lane. Blocked by Davis. Foul on Lauren Park Lane. And Marquesha Davis. Davis now 3 for 5 from the charity stripe. 16 points today. 5-point lead for Ole Miss. Inbounds goes to Park Lane. 7 and 6. Quickly to the basket. And draws a foul. Park Lane misses the first. 65% foul line shooter on the season. Splits the pair. That could change in the next 4 seconds. Handoff goes to Scott. She's hyping him up. And it's a party in the SIP tonight. Ole Miss takes down Mississippi State in overtime. And the Pavilion goes nuts.
What a game, Jake. I mean...